Flora.
Ulysses by DiCamillo.
Very good. And I am sorry if the previous video did not upload. It is still trying. You'll have to go back and read that one first before you read this one. Because, this one is where the neighbor, Mrs. Tickman, Tootie Tickman, comes on over, and so does William Spiver. William Spiver is her great grandnephew. Great nephew. And he's a little different. And Flora's mom and Tootie Tickman think that they might be good friends for the summer, someone to play with. So let's find out what happens next. Confronted with the spectacle of William Spiver, they had forgotten about Ulysses. Flora and her mother and Tootie all turned and looked at Ulysses. He was still on top of Marianne the lamp, whom Mama seems to love more than anything. He had managed to balance himself on a small blue and green globe that was at the center of the lampshade. That squirrel, said Flora's mother, he's rabid and diseased. He has got to go. Chapter 18, A Scientific Adventure. Why don't you let me take the squirrel? Tootie said to Flora's mother. I'll return him to the wild. Would Tootie really return him to the wild?
No.
No, because he knows. What does she know about the squirrel?
No.
Go ahead, Kennedy.
That the squirrel, she probably maybe knows the squirrel is the one she vacuumed.
Yes, it's the one she vacuumed, and he lifted up the vacuum cleaner. So she knows that squirrel could have superpowers, and the only possible way the squirrel could live is if she has something to do with saving his life. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see if that happens. If you can call the backyard wild, William Spiver said. Hush up, William, said Tootie. She reached out for Ulysses. Don't touch it, shrieked Flora's mother. Not without gloves. It has some sort of disease. If you could just give me some gloves then, said Tootie. I'll pluck the squirrel off this lampshade and whisk him out of here and set him free. The kid can come along. It will be a scientific adventure. It doesn't sound very scientific to me, said William Spiver. Well, said Flora's mother, I don't know. Flora Belle's father is coming to pick her up for her Saturday visit. He'll be here any minute, and she'll still be in her pajamas. Flora Belle? Said William Spiver. What a lovely name. It will just take a minute, said Tootie in a low, soothing voice. The kids can get to know each other. I'll get you some gloves, said Flora's mother. And so now here they were, walking over to Tootie's, getting to know each other or something. So remember, William Spiver goes by William Spiver, first and last name, is the nephew. Tootie had a pair of dishwashing gloves that went all the way up to her elbows, and the gloves were bright pink. Can you picture it? They were glowed in cherry, radioactive sort of way, so they must have been like a neon color. And next to Flora was William Spiver. His left hand rested on her shoulder. Remember? Henry, remember? He's like pretending to be blind. He has those dark glasses on. What time? 10 minutes. Do you mind, Flora Belle, he said. Would it trouble you terribly if I put my hand on your shoulder and allowed you to guide me back to Great Aunt Tootie's house? The world is a treacherous place, when you can't see. Flora didn't bother pointing out to him that the world was a treacherous place when you could see. And speaking of treacherous, things were not in any way progressing as Flora had planned. She had envisioned Ulysses fighting crime, criminals, villainy, darkness, treachery. She had imagined him flying through the world with her, Flora Blackman, at his side. Instead, there she was, leading a temporarily blind boy through her own backyard. It was anticlimactic, to say the least. Have you released the squirrel yet, Aunt Tootie? Great Aunt Tootie? No, said Aunt Tootie, I have not. Why do I sense that there is more going on here than meets the eye? Get it? He's blind and he's saying that something more than meets the eye. Just keep quiet until we get back to the house, William, said Tootie. Can you do that? Can you keep quiet for a minute? Of course I can, said William Spiver. I'm an old pro at keeping quiet. Flora doubted very much that this was true. William Spiver squeezed her shoulder. May I inquire how old you are, Flora Belle? Don't squeeze my shoulder. I'm 10. I'm 11, said William, which surprises me, I must say. I feel much older than 11. Also, I know for a fact that I am smaller than your average 11-year-old. It may even be that I am shrinking. Excessive trauma can slow the growth. I'm not certain, however, if I can actually cause shrinking. What was the traumatic event that turned you blind? Yes, that I want to know. What is the traumatic event that turned him blind? I'd prefer not to discuss it right now. I don't want to alarm you. It's not possible to alarm me. She's thinking to herself, she's a cynic. You can't alarm a cynic. I feel like you're part squirrel right now.
Me?
No.
Him?
The one eating the cheese puffs. Is that squirrel food? Possibly. You will be typing Squirtle pretty soon. We'll have to do Typing Pal to test it out. Just kidding. So you say, Flora says, I am a natural born cynic. Nothing in human nature surprises a cynic. The word cryptic popped into Flora's head. It was preceded by the word unnecessarily. Unnecessarily cryptic, said Flora out loud. I beg your pardon, said William Spiver. But then they were at Tootie's house. They were walking through her backyard into her kitchen, which smelt like bacon and lemons. Tootie put Ulysses down on the table. I don't understand, said William Spiver. We're back at your house, but I can still smell the squirrel. Flora took the paper out of her pajamas. She handed it to Tootie. She felt like a spy. Successful spy. A triumphant spy. Although she's still in her pajamas. What's this, said Tootie. It's proof that you aren't victim of an unextended hallucination, said Flora. Tootie held the paper with both hands and she stared at it. Squirtle? She said. Squirtle? Said William Spliver. Keep reading. Squirtle. I am Ulysses, born anew. See? Said Flora. What does that prove? Said William Spiver. What does that even mean? The squirrel's name is Ulysses, said Tootie. Wait a minute, said Spiver. Are you I don't even know that word. That the squirrel typed those words? Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. The hallucination extends, says Tootie. What hallucination, said William. The squirrel has superhero hallucination, said Tootie. Surely you just, said William. Ulysses sat up on his hind legs. He looked at William Spiver and then at Tootie. And finally he turned his eyes to Flora. He raised his eyebrows and gave her a look of question, full of hope. Flora felt a pang of doubt. He was, after all, just a squirrel. She had no proof that he was a superhero. What if there was some other explanation for those words? Also, there was Tootie's disturbing point to consider. What kind of superhero types on a typewriter? And then she thought about Alfred, who everyone doubted him. how no one except the parakeet Dolores knew that he was the incandisto, and how no one except Dolores truly believed him. Was it Flora's job to believe Ulysses? And what did that make her, a parakeet? Let me get this straight, said William Spiver. You, a self-professed cynic, are posting that the squirrel is a superhero? The blind boy who has received trauma has stated, the words "do not hope" instead of "observe" flitted in her brain. She took a deep breath. She brushed the phrase away. The squirrel typed those words, she said. Well, said William Spiver, those hands still on Flora's shoulders. Why didn't he move his hand? She thought. Let's just approach this scientifically. We'll put that squirrel in the front of Great Aunt Tootie's computer and we'll ask him to type. Again. Will he? Will he show them he can type? Is typing his superpower?
No.
Dun dun dun!